Hi, Carla. It's great to see you here today. My name is Lisa, and this is our other therapist that's joining us today.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
We just are going to ask, a couple of like get to know you kind of questions. Um, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. I like to go snowboarding.
That's really
Um,
fun.
I don't know. I like to hang out socially with my friends.
Right. Can you tell us like your age and who you live with?
Yeah, so I'm 17 years old right now, and I live with my parents. I live at home with my parents.
Great. And do you know why you are here today?
Yeah, so I think it was like 2 weeks ago. My parents walked in on me using pills and marijuana, and I guess they want me to talk to someone because they say I don't communicate with them. So.
Okay. So I just want to go over, before we get started, go over some confidentiality with you. I just want to let you know that everything we talk about here today is protected. I will not and cannot share any of the things that you talked to us about today, without your permission. And there, other than a couple of rules, I'll go through those in just a second. But I do want to let you know that your information and your records are safe. Only you or anyone that you authorize can look at those or access those records. The exceptions with the confidentiality rule is if you do tell us that you plan on hurting yourself or hurting somebody else, we do have a duty to step in and contact somebody to make sure that you are safe and everybody else is safe as well. And if you share any information about child abuse, elder abuse, or abuse for any other vulnerable adults, again, that is something that we would have to report. In very rare cases, if a court ordered us to, we would have to share some of that information with court as well. But we are only sharing this with you because if there were any of these exceptions, I don't want you to be blindsided. We would want you to kind of have a heads up. We would talk to you first. Our goal is that you feel safe, you feel like you can openly share with us, just knowing that there are those laws in place. Did I explain that clearly enough? Do you have any questions before we move forward?
No.
Okay. Okay, so we are just going to kind of start out asking about the last week. I just want to know how you have been eating over the last week out of 1 to 10, 10 being you've been eating pretty normal, eating great, 1 being you're having a really hard time eating or keeping things down.
Mm, I would say a 8.
8, eating pretty well. Okay. And how about your sleep?
I would say like a 4.
Not sleeping very well.
Hmm.
Have you had any thoughts over the last week about wanting to hurt yourself or actually hurting yourself?
Um, Sometimes I feel like I have some vague thoughts of like cutting my wrist with the butter knife.
Okay. Can you explain to us how often you're having these thoughts?
It's usually just like once in a while when I'm feeling like really overwhelmed.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry, we're going to go into a couple of different harder questions just because you have some of these thoughts. We just want to make sure that you're safe. Have you ever wished you were dead or wished that you could go to sleep and not wake up?
no, I don't really want to die. I just want to take a break from like life because
Okay.
it's so overwhelming.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay. You say you want to take a break from life, but have you thought about kind of making it permanent, making it something that you would want to do is to not be alive?
I haven't done like anything
Okay.
really, but I have thought of like cutting my wrist with a butter knife,
Yeah.
and my parents are sleeping.
Okay.
Okay. Well, how often have you had these thoughts, actually?
Mm, Not really often, only like when I'm feeling completely overwhelmed.
Okay. And how often is that feeling? How often does that come every week?
I would say probably like once every 2 months.
Right.
Okay. Um, I would also like to ask, have you thought about how you would do that or how you would make yourself not alive anymore? What exactly do you think about? You mentioned that you think of cutting yourself with a butter knife. Is that correct?
Yeah, but other than that, I haven't really thought of anything else. And I feel like a butter knife wouldn't really do much like damage, so
Yeah. Have you actually, you say you've thought about it, but have you actually cut yourself with the knife?
no, I've never done like anything to actually harm myself.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's move on to some other questions then. Where were you born? And you said you live with your parents. Do you have any siblings that you live with as well?
Yeah, I was born here in Utah.
Okay.
I live by like the Skyline High School, and I have one other sibling, but she's 21 years old, so and then my two parents.
Okay. And your sister lives with you at home, or is she living away from home?
She lives at home. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Are you, sorry, are you close to your sister?
Sometimes like I wouldn't say we're like super close, but once a month, sometimes we like go to social events together and then we have a drink together. So
Okay.
A drink as in alcohol?
yeah.
Okay. Let's get a few more history questions, and then we would like to follow up on that drinking a little bit later in this assessment, okay? Can you tell us a little bit more about your parents, their names, ages, kind of what your relationship with them is?
Yeah. So my parents, one my mom is named Sarah, and then my dad is named Tom. Um, and my mom, she works as a yoga instructor at the community center, and my dad works from home. Um, but yeah.
Okay. And what's your relationship like with them?
My relationship with them, I would have to say that we used to like, and they get mad when I like don't really talk to them about my stuff and what I'm going through. But it just like makes me mad that like they're just trying to barge into my like personal life when they need to like mind their own business. So,
What
Yeah.
do you think has changed between the relationship of you and your parents?
well, like a year ago, one of my close friends, Stacy, she was in a car accident, and after that car accident, I just feel like I don't really, I don't know, I don't enjoy talking to people, and especially
Mm,
like if they're trying to, I don't know, come into my business and trying to talk about like how I feel about things, because I rather just keep that stuff to
mhm.
myself.
I'm gonna
That's
assume you don't
understandable.
have any children. Do you have a girlfriend or a partner?
I used to have a girlfriend. We broke up 3 months ago. We were together for like 6 months, but um, yeah, we broke up 3 months ago. So
Hmm.
Do you have any other close friends or close relationships, coworkers, cousins, anything like that?
mm, not really. I don't work. I live with my parents, so I don't work, and they want me to focus on school. But sometimes I go out with
Okay.
some friends once in a while to like social outings, and then we just like drink together. So
Well, with what you were saying about the accident with your friend, and then on top of that, also the breakup that you just recently had, how do you feel like these events have changed your relationships? Do you feel as though you've noticed that there's a change and it's kind of just happened and you feel like you have no control, or do you think it's something that you can possibly change about it?
well, I feel like I don't know, just right now, I think that everybody thinks that I'm like they're just worried about me because they say I have a problem because I'm using like marijuana and oxy and also like drinking on occasions. But I think it's mainly my way of coping with everything, and they just don't understand that. And then they go on to like barging into my life, trying to like ask me how I feel, but I just don't want to talk about how I feel when it comes to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
As far as you know, with your childhood, were there any significant developmental milestones that were missed or delayed? Was Do you know if your kind of milestones, crawling, walking, all of that was pretty normal?
Yeah, I had a normal development.
Okay. Okay, so next, Elizabeth and I, we're going to talk a little bit more about the substance use. You use alcohol, oxy, and marijuana. Is there any other substances that you use? Cigarettes, vaping, any other drugs?
No, I just use marijuana and oxy, and then occasionally I drink when there's like a party or something like that.
Okay. Can you
Mm.
go into detail on things that like when you first started using these things, how often, and the last time that you've used any of these things?
Mm, I would say I started drinking like when I was 16, so around last year. But my first time drinking was like really little, and
Mm.
sometimes after that I started drinking like on my own, and sometimes like with my friends at parties or with my sister at parties. But that's very like I would have to say probably just once a month, like on some occasions. Um, and then I also like to do marijuana when I'm going snowboarding
Mhm.
with my friends. Um, but I started smoking like in June, and then I don't know, I just felt pretty relaxed when I did, so I kept on doing it. Um,
And when did you start? So you mentioned that you started smoking before you ever started using the pills while you smoked?
yeah, so I started smoking first, and then I was introduced to Oxy, and um, that's when I like started just popping pills when I would go out to like hang out with my friends.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you use all these substances together?
Sometimes Sometimes I'm a little high when I do pop some Oxy, but I tend not to because then I feel nauseous.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's just like on rare occasions.
Okay.
When was the last time that you mixed them together and how much of it?
Um, I would have to say like 4 months ago, and I think it was like 2 pills after I had smoked, after I had smoked, yeah.
Okay. And what about individually? So the drinking, the marijuana, and also the pills.
Marijuana, I usually have it like a couple times a week, and then with the Oxy, I like usually just do it when there's like an occasion, like when I'm
Mm.
going out with my friends. Um, and then with the drinking, usually once a month when I'm typically with my sister at a party or something.
Anything else with your substance use that you feel like we should know or that you would like to share with us?
Mm, no, not that I can think of.
Okay.
We would also like to know if you've had any medical history, maybe that you've broken a bone here and there, if you've had any surgeries, any severe illnesses, possibly, or if you've been hospitalized before. Have you ever experienced any of that during your life?
Mm, no,
No? No broken bones?
no.
Okay, lucky.
Yeah. With your psychiatric history, have you had any previous diagnoses of mental health issues, put on any medications for that?
Mhm.
Um, no. Mm-mm.
Okay. Any previous counseling and therapy?
No, this is my first time.
Have you had any family who has had any psychiatric history, any mental health illnesses, or treatment, counseling, that kind of stuff that you're aware of?
No.
We are going to go into a couple of more, a little bit harder of questions, not quite like the suicidal conversation that we had, but we would like to know if you've had any abuse or neglect.
No, no abuse or neglect.
Okay. Sometimes people don't know if they're being abused. So I just want you to kind of think if there have been any incidents where people have um, made it a habit to kind of constantly put you down or tell you that you're stupid, um, or have shoved you on a significant other or family member. None of those that you can think of.
No.
Okay. Have
Along with that, sorry,
mhm.
um, has there been any physical abuse, any just physical violence in general, growing up or even now?
No, there hasn't been any physical abuse in my
Okay.
household. So.
And as a child, have you ever seen somebody in your household be hurt or have any violence done to them either?
No,
Have you ever been in trouble with the law?
no.
No shoplifting. You're 17. Do you drive?
I started driving, yeah,
Okay.
last,
You've never had a speeding ticket or anything like that?
no.
Okay.
Good.
You said you don't work now. Your parents wanted you to focus on school. Have you ever had a job?
No, I haven't had a job. Um,
Okay.
So now we're going to get into, because you said you were 17, I'm guessing you're in high school. Are you still attending high school?
yeah, I'm still attending high school.
Okay. You said you're going to Sky High High School. Is that what you said?
Skyland.
Skyland High School. Okay. How do you feel like you do in school? Do you like it? Is it kind of just you got to do it so you get it done? How's your GPA?
I've been doing pretty good in high school. I've always been like the kind of kid to get good grades. Um, I feel like recently though, I've been kind of like lacking on my work. And
Hmm.
it's just because like I don't know, everything just feels so overwhelming. But
Yeah.
I've always been like a good student, so
Okay. And how do you feel like you do socially when you go to school? Do you feel like you have any friends at school, or is it easy for you to talk to people around you?
um yeah, I used to be very social and I feel that right now or after Stacy's death, I've been trying to kind of keep my distance from everyone.
Yeah.
But I do have like three or four really close friends. Um and then I also, like I mentioned before, I had a girlfriend, but
Yeah.
we broke up um like after Stacy passed away, so
Yeah, of course. Um, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Really rough.
so although you are in high school right now, do you have any extracurriculars you're a part of, or like a sports team or anything like that?
I I'm not specifically part of like a sports team, but I do like to snowboard and mountain bike. But I haven't really been doing them as much just because I don't know. I usually
Of
would do
everything.
yeah, and I would do that with my dad. So
Mm,
since he keeps like parting into my personal stuff, I like to just keep to myself. I mainly just hang out with my friends now, but I used to do jujutsu and I'm getting back to get doing jujutsu every Wednesday.
okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is. Have you had any issues with diversity, inclusion, with your age or your culture, your gender expression, anything along those lines?
No, I feel like I've been able to get along pretty well with everyone. I just like am kind of I guess stepping back from social like stuff right now. But
Okay. So we talked about a lot about things that have been hard. Can you give me a couple of what you believe your strengths are, or things that you like about yourself, what other people like about you?
I would say that I'm pretty an easygoing person. And I think that's why a lot of people like are kind of attracted like to me socially. Like I'm typically it's typically easy for me to make friends. And I would have to say I'm pretty smart. I mean, I always do good in school. And I'm caring of like other people too, like of my relationships. And I would have to say I'm athletic and have a strong sense of character. I really like to take care of the people around me, so I would have to say I'm kind and loyal. Um, but yeah.
Those are some great characteristics. I'm so happy that you have seen that about yourself. Um, hmm,
Are there, well, after going through all of this, it's been very nice to get to know you, and
yeah.
thank you for also all the vulnerable things you've spoken to us about. I'm sure they're still very heavily affecting you, and um, we're here to help and understand you more. Is there anything you feel like you'd like to work on that we can kind of focus on for next time?
I guess I want to, I don't know. Well, my parents really want me to improve my communications skills with them. They think that, like, well, obviously, I don't like talking about my feelings, but they think I'm like emotionally immature because of it. So I guess I want to improve, like, being able to talk about how I feel and being able to talk about that stuff with my parents more specifically, since I can tell they're like pretty worried about me.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you for being so open with us. And we can go ahead and schedule for our next appointment if you would like. And scene.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so we just need to talk about, I guess, a couple of resources. Um,
Yes.
there are a few like teen programs specifically for substance use. Sorry. Um,
Yeah.
there's one called Youth Care. I'm trying to find where exactly that's at.
In Utah?
Um, yes, it is. Oh, it's Draper. So Youth
Yeah.
Care Treatment Center in Draper, and then there was another one called Newport Academy.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Sorry, I should have looked up the locations first.
No, you're good. It says Newport Academy is in Weber Canyon Road, Oakley, Utah.
Okay. And then those places all obviously work mental health as well. So, and the last thing that I was thinking of would be obviously a safety plan.
Yeah,
mhm.
true.
Um, do you guys have any other recommendations for resources or
Yeah.
those kind of things?
Well, it seems like they kind of grew up in a safe environment from what I understand, but it
Yeah.
wasn't a very like rough lifestyle that they've lived. It's just that they've had very recent hardcore events.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like maybe grief support because it seemed like
mhm.
Yes.
everything started happening after like Stacy passed away.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Um, and I did see that the what was the first one I said? Oh, the Youth Care Treatment Center did say stuff or had said that they work with grief. With
Oh,
grief specific, I was gonna see if I could find something real quick.
no, I get it. You're good.
Um, I mean, there are like plenty of just grief counselors that they can find. There is a youth one that I know of called Reach. That one is in South Jordan. Um, I don't think we said where exactly, what city we live in, but I don't know where Skyline is. Is that a real high school?
Yeah, it's a real high school, but I don't know. I don't know where it was located at either. But I
Oh,
could
okay.
let me see, Skyline.
Can you guys see me? Sorry.
Yes, are you
Apparently,
black?
it's located in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm blacked out, but
Oh,
we can keep talking. It's okay. Just know I'm blacked out.
okay.
It says it's located in Mill Creek, Utah.
Okay, so that's not too bad, but maybe South Jordan is not the best place. Mill Creek, Utah. Um, it gave me bark.com. Oh, okay. That is a bereavement counselor, called bark.com. And they're in Mill Creek.
And
Okay.
it's like not since you said the resources that you listed off first revolves around like grief too, or like includes grief support. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if like substance abuse would also be another good resource.
Yeah, so those teen centers do they're
Substance abuse.
for substance abuse and
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean they do work mental health. They do like the counseling and CBT and all that fun stuff too. Um, but yeah, I think after he's there for a while, then definitely like grief counseling, he needs to get into that a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I have. What about you guys?
I think that's all good. I know we are supposed, well, in the assessment in the BPS, it's just kind of going over like the client and everything, but I feel like we kind of covered that. Like like I said, I mean, I don't think there's more to it like in the past, like any trauma in the past, but more just like now. And then the substance abuse, of course. So I think they're good for right now. They also haven't been diagnosed with anything.
Right.
So um I think we can do the, oh man, what's that assessment called? Where they look at the depression, anxiety, and stress.
Oh, is that the Holmes rate or which
I
one?
I think it is the Holmes.
Because the
I
Holmes
think they
rate is mostly stress, I think. Um,
I think it might be the OQ. No,
oh,
no, no. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Um,
let's see.
DAS 21.
Oh, yeah, the DAS would be a good one too, and the ASAM.
Yeah.
Mhm.